Hello, welcome back to I Create For You. I'll see what happens if this goes again. This is take 2 of this video. I'm there yapping and yapping, and I look up to make sure you're in frame, and the phone had kicked me off. So I'm going to see if I can keep recording this time. Today is whatever Wednesday, so I thought I'd bring you into one of my new obsessions. It's spiroglyphics, and of course I got this on Amazon, and it was horror themed, so I had to get it. And I thought, well, I'm going to try this because I've never seen it done before, and I wanted to give it a try with something different. And it kind of reminded me of a record, just the way it looks. And they tell you in the beginning on how to do it. It's really simple. When you start it, it looks like this, and you cannot tell what it is going to be. I'm so sorry. My voice keeps going in and out. Try this again. They have a start. You can either start here or you can start here. And I was experimenting. When I first got it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta try every one. I'm gonna try different colors and stuff like that. This was the clown, and it was a grayish color, but it showed up really well. So I decided to do orange. I mean, it's a pumpkin. You can still see what it is, but this one's like the devil, red in red. Went back to black. That one was also black. And that one was black. And this one was in purple. Didn't show up that well. This one I don't think showed up that well either. It's like an octopus pirate. This one went back to black. That one showed up really well. I started this one, but I'm not going to finish it on here. I'm just going to show you on a different one how you start it and how you can go. I usually go with the one on the top. And let me see if you can see me. Yeah. And then all you do is color that line that they have there, if my pen will work. See? Just follow that. This one's a really thin one. Thin line. They're usually thick. I mean, they change. I don't know if you can see that right there, how it can change, but you must stay in there and color that way. And you're just coloring along. And it doesn't really take that long to do one. But if you like are OCD or something like that, it may take you forever to try to stay in the lines. I don't really care if I go outside of the lines. I'm not that too particular about it. It still comes out looking nice, looking like it's supposed to. Yeah, and then you just I turn my book so that I can do it. Yeah, I like this way better. Yeah, just follow that line. Like I said, I experimented with the different colors, but I think to finish off the book, I'm just going to stick with black because it really showed up. And you don't really need to have something unless you're using marker. Now these are pens. You can get a big pack of these pens at Dollar Tree. Get like 6 of these in a pack, and they're like gel pens, and they don't go through, as you can see here. On this one, it doesn't go through. I might use marker on 1 or 2 of these, but if you do that, if you use marker, put something underneath it so you're not going to bleed into your next pattern. So yeah, this is basically what I do if I want to break from my other life things and just sit down and create a picture. Now here's where we're getting a little into the fat part. And then it goes skinny again. And by doing those little variations there, that's what makes your picture come to life. So, and once you do it a few times, you can figure out a way that is easier for you to do it. I'm going to do it until I can get somewhat past a starting point, or maybe go all the way up to where I started. But it's pretty simple, pretty fun. It's not, I mean, it's, unless you get somebody chirping in your ear, or you have a cat that wants to sit on your lap, or it's bumping the table. Other than that, it's not too bad of a thing to try. I always try different things, because, you know, sometimes you get bored doing the same thing all the time. I mean, I love to draw, but sometimes I might have like a sketch block where I don't know what I want to sketch, so instead of that, I just find something else to do. Something else, you know, when you, and then also, I like using these kind of things to keep my mind busy and off of things that are going on in my life that I shouldn't be stressing too much about if I don't have control over them, and it just get my mind busy with something else. Put on music, put on a YouTube, put on something in the background, you know, and just do it. And I know that when I first got the book, I was like so excited, and I just kept doing it and doing it. I think I did 3 or 4 in one night because I just liked doing it. It was just so much fun for me to do something different, and I was just eager to see what the picture was going to be. In the front, they show you the pictures, but I try not to look, and because they don't have the pages number, so I still, you know, unless I sit there and count all the pages or see what the one was before and check on the chart, I won't know. I have no idea what this is going to be. You can't tell, and that's fun. That's the fun part about it. It's a mystery, and you don't have to be an artist to do this. You can just, and you're still creating a picture. So that's my take on this different form of art. Something you could take on a trip. I mean, like, or if you go camping and you're having a quiet time while everybody else is, maybe everybody else is still sleeping and you couldn't sleep and you just want to do something because your mind's already busy and keeping you awake. Or you're just traveling. I don't know if you could do this in a car. Yeah, that might be a little difficult. Take word searches. There, that'll work. Speaking of that, when I was a kid, this reminds me. We used to have a place in Delaware that we would go. My mom and dad owned a trailer in a park down there, and on weekends or sometimes like a week in the summertime, we would go there and stay for the weekend or a week or two, and it would take us maybe 3 hours to get there. And so my mom and I would get word search puzzle books the same, and on the trip we'd have word search battles. We'd have the same word search we were both working on, and we just keep doing it until we were done, and then say done and see who got done first with all the words. It was a fun little thing we did just to kill time and to keep my dad awake so he wouldn't fall asleep at the wheel. The good old days, right? We had the station wagons. My dad always had a station wagon with the paneling on the side, the old ones, and then the third seat in the back that faced the people behind you, and you'd make all kinds of weird faces at the people that are following you. Yeah. Like I said, the good old days, because I don't even remember if those seats had seat belts in it in the back there in that third row. I couldn't even tell you. I know I didn't wear one. I was already going to see what was going to hit me, so. Such is life, right? The good old days where you didn't have to worry about so much and there was so much going on. You know, I grew up, born in the 60s, grew up in the 70s and 80s, and, you know, most of that time, that was a big time for serial killers. And you know, back then I didn't even take notice. There was a lot of hitchhiking going on. But I never even noticed, you know. And then as I got older and I kind of got interested in true crime stuff and read a little bit about serial killers, I was like, huh, I was this old when this one did this, and you know, and I was like comparing. I'm like, sheesh, I don't even remember any of this going on. I mean, there would have been Ted Bundy, and man, it's just weird to think that I grew up in an era where there was so much crime and so many things, so much bad things happening around us. Yet we were so like carefree in a way. We didn't have the strictness that is now. I think the crazies got crazier for sure than back then. But yeah, it's a weird evolution of crap in the world, I'll tell you. Not a fun place to be right now, and I can totally understand if people don't want to have kids grow up in the world the way it is. But let me tell you what, I've been watching a lot of YouTube. When I watch a lot of YouTube, I guess you could say I watch a lot of nonsense. But that's all it's on YouTube. Some nonsense. I noticed when I hold on 1 second here. That I watch a lot of true crime stuff, of course. I've never noticed a time when there are so many missing people, so many missing kids, and when the kids come up missing, it's always the parents or the step parents. What in the god dang heck possesses these people to do this crap? How could you not put your children first? Why would you take your boyfriend or girlfriend and put them before your kids, and then or let them discipline your kids? They're not the biological parents. But man, some of these people are just not. I don't know. I don't even have words for some of the crap that goes on. I've never ever knew all that kind of crap until I started true crime crap on YouTube. And lately it's just been, and I think COVID really enhanced the issues because the kids had to be at home. They couldn't go to school. And those kids, some of those kids that have been tortured or beaten at home, and or you know, like mistreated, and those kids, going to school was their only way out of the house. And then all of a sudden homeschooling has become like rampant. You know, that now if your kids go to school and the school notices something about your child, you have the option of taking them out and homeschooling them. Then nobody can see your kid going to school with bruises and they're not eating right, or they don't smell like they've been taken care of, and things like that. I mean, man, this society today is just totally whack. They don't want you to discipline your kids, but yet when people do discipline them, it's to the point where they kill them or maim them. And it's just, to me, that's sicker than patting them on the hiney and telling them, no, this is not how you act. You need to be more respectful or something like that. I've never heard in my lifetime of growing up that any of my friends ever had their refrigerators locked because they weren't allowed to sneak food, or I never heard of this kind of crap before. Or there's parents who actually cage their kids and grandparents. It's like, what the heck? At what point do you feel like I'm going to just cage my kids so I can do what I want? And there's a lot of them that will still, knowing that you can't leave your pets in a car in the heat, will leave their kids in their car in the heat. Well, I went only in there for 5 minutes. Well, yeah. In 5 minutes, you're going to have a cooked kid. But you don't really care because you just don't want to deal with them in a shopping cart. If you can lay down and have fun, you need to be able to take responsibility for your actions. That's just the way I'm looking at it. If you don't want to have kids, you don't need to do the nasty deed, right? You just don't need to be worrying about who you're gonna be messing with. Because I don't think people, I shouldn't say people. Some of these women are just, I can't even fathom what goes on in their mind. There was one lady who she decided, because her kid was sleeping, that it was okay to leave him in the house while she went to her neighbor and got a little something something and was there for like 4 hours. Meanwhile, the kid had woken up, gotten out of the house, and was out in the middle of an intersection before somebody called the police. And she finally comes home and says, well, I was just over at the neighbor's house. I wasn't there that long. How long's that long? Oh, about 30 minutes. And then they had, of course, you got to remember, they got all these CCTV and ring cameras and stuff like that, so you best not be bull crapping. And they bull crap. You find out 4 hours later you were busy with the neighbor. Ridiculousness, I tell you. And there's so many teachers messing with the students stuff too. It's one thing to like having a job with children, but there's a line that you don't cross when you're a teacher. You know, they're just, oh man, I don't know. I just don't know. I'd give anything to go back to the 80s. Really. Just stay there for a while. To relive it. With the big hair. Awesome music. Awesome friends. Not a care in the world. Hanging out with your friends on the porch. You know. Not thinking of that. Thinking this, that, and the other thing to get myself in trouble. There was never so much racism. There wasn't, you can't say this, you can't say that. There wasn't all this restrictions. I know you need some boundaries, and you need some rules, and you need some regulations, yeah. But if you aren't harming anybody by sitting on your porch and maybe just checking out the different cars that are going by. I mean, like we used to do dumb shit as a kid. I mean, like weird stuff. Like now it would be like, you're weird. When I was younger, I remember we used to sit on the porch. And this is weird. I shouldn't even admit to this, but just hang out on the porch and just, all your friends would come over and you just hang out on your front porch, and you had nothing better to do. You just check out all the cars that went by. And I don't even know how this happened, but we used to say if you ever see a green car, that's a junk car. That car is crap. And you know what? Every time a green car went by, it looked like it was going to fall apart. And it was the only green car. Only the green cars. Dumb stuff like that. But I was really young when we did that. I wasn't even quite a teenager when we were doing that kind of stuff. But we used to walk everywhere. We never had the pleasure of, if we're going to have a snow day, we're going to do it online crap. You trudge to that gosh darn school. If you were a walker in my town, unless they totally closed the school, which was very rarely, even though we'd get tons of snow here in PA, it didn't matter. They shovel the sidewalk, you better be able to walk up it. You know, they'd get the janitor would go out, they'd shovel the snow on the sidewalk. Well, you're walking in. You're walking in. I don't know how many times I walked to school, and there may have only been 6 kids in our homeroom, in our class, that showed up, because the rest were all bused. But they either didn't make it to school, or just the walkers made it that time. But yeah, it's just, now it's like laziness. And I know it used to be the old thing. Did your mom and dad ever tell you how they walked 3 miles in the blizzard, in a blizzard, uphill to get to school? Well, you know what? Yeah, that is true. I used to walk uphill. I used to walk pretty gosh darn far. Now they have now when you drive through my hometown and it's a school day and you're behind a bus, they're stopping at every intersection picking kids up. We never had that crap growing up. I would have been on a bus if that was the case, but nope. Where I was like, where we lived was like in the middle of the town. So when you walk blocks. I must have walked like just one way. I could tell you I walked like 6 blocks to get to school. Up a hill. That's the truth. It was up a hill. Uphill might have been like 2.5 blocks, or just pure uphill. That was sheer craziness. But yeah, there were a lot of times I walked by myself to the elementary school, and the elementary school was a good 5 blocks away, and I never had, like, I'd be by myself. And elementary went up to 5th grade, and I was walking to and from school by myself. Of course, other kids were walking too, but I'd be by myself. There'd be no adults or nothing, and we just go. Now, no way I wouldn't trust my kids doing that. My grandkids. I would rather have them on a bus or whatever right now, because the world is so messed up. But man, I got on a weird topic. Just chatting away. Well, I hope you got the gist of this. See how much I got done, and I'm yapping. I don't usually talk. See, I can't walk and chew gum, but I can talk and do this. Go figure, right? I remember that old saying. You can't walk and chew gum at the same time. Who the heck came up with that crap? I just feel so old lately. There's just, like, time is just passing by so quickly. I can't believe we're at the end of this year already. I could have swore it just started. I don't feel like I accomplished much except for YouTube. That was my new venture. But just going by so fast. I lived in a school in a school district where we had one black child in our school, the whole school, and he was a foster child, and nobody treated him any differently. He was not He was not a black guy in our book. He was just another guy. He was just another friend. He was, you know, you never had all this race card played, you know. None of that crap. Now that there's a... Okay. This is Stash, just like walking across the front of me, because it's soon time for their nightly supper. So he's like telling me that it's time to eat. Oh, and he's such a big boy. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that. Nothing like seeing a cat up close and personal. He's needy. They're all needy. Like I was saying, we never had to worry about racism. And now they're that, you know, like our town never really had any I don't know how to put this nicely without getting maybe a strike or something on me. We our town was predominantly a white town, but if race came in, we treated them no different than anybody else. It wasn't, hey, what are you doing here in our town? You know, never, nothing like that. We never even thought of that crap. I had some black friends growing up, like down at the shore and stuff when we were there. I just don't know. People are just so butthurt over things that they shouldn't. There are more important things to worry about than some of the crap that these people have issues with. I'll tell you. You know, to each their own on their way of lifestyle, their choice of lifestyle. I have no problem with it. I think the only time I have a problem with it, with anybody's choices, is when they try to push the point when, you know, like you're not. I'm not the type of person who will speak against someone. You know, that's your choice. That's not my business. You know, but if you're gonna constantly push it on me in a certain way, I just then I might say something, because then that's not cool. But I'm not the type of person. I don't even know how I'm coming across saying that, but there are ways that it can get out of hand. I mean, if it always comes up in conversation, if you always have to push it and make it a point, and like you're having a conversation, it's always coming up. That's a little, and you don't have to be bringing it up, but you feel like you have to always constantly say something, and it's always against people who don't understand your choices and stuff like that. If you got to understand, if you keep doing that, you're going to make people not like your choices, because you're being forceful and you're being judgmental to them. Everybody has their choices. Everybody has to live with their choices, and that's that. You shouldn't push it on people, especially if the people you're talking to don't have a problem with it, because you're just going to make them have a problem after a while, because they're going to get tired of hearing it or feeling like you're doing it for a reason that you don't have to. You know, just be yourself. Live the way you want to live, but if you force others to I'm having a trouble with this kitty cat. If you keep forcing yourself in your issues on people, they're just not going to be happy with you, and then they'll get defensive, and then things will happen. They get upset, and you know, then it goes down another avenue. If someone accepts you for the way you are, let it be. You don't have to prove yourself. You don't have to push everything on some people. You don't have to push a point that doesn't have to be made. So I hope that makes sense. Like, I'm not a racist person. I'm not against anybody's lifestyles. Absolutely not. Everybody's free to be who they want to be. Whatever makes you happy. But that doesn't mean you make someone else uncomfortable. I don't know if that makes sense. See how fast this is? I have a cat looking over my shoulder. Like, yeah, speed it up, would you? I'm getting hungry over here. I'm going to soon cut this out. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Turn off the... I'm going to cut this out. No. I'm going to stop and maybe finish it to this point, and then the next time I talk to you, if you want to see this again to see what this one's going to be, we'll go back the other way. I'll get it to the point where I'm almost done, and then I'll finish it on here with you guys. I hope you like this new form of, and you can always see where you left off, so it's not like you can't put it away if you have to and pick it up and do it again. I have pretty many more left to do, so once I get this book filled, though, I will definitely show you guys what I have made. And once again, I got these off of Amazon. Give it a try. I think they have other things. I know they have Bigfoot ones. I think they might have other ones. And they also have stuff called dot art, which I have no idea what that is. And also reverse coloring, where they put color on a paper. And you take that picture and you doodle on it and make something out of the colors. I think that's how it goes. I don't know. I've never done that either. I want to get a book on that and try that once. Like I said, I like doing different things. And I hope you like what I'm doing on this channel. Every now and then I get something different. Something different to do. Thank you so much for stopping by and listening to me chat and yap and fight with a cat, a hungry cat. And I'm getting like 500 eyes looking at me because it is supper time. And I'm looking like a leg of lamb right now, or whatever you want to call it. No, I look like a big tuna. That's what I look like. So, thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you like this, like I said, and comment. Let me know what you think of this. This is really an awesome thing that I found something like this, because it really helps me go into a different avenue when I need it. Different mindset, and still be creative. So, thank you so much. Please give me a thumbs up. Share, comment, and please subscribe. Boy, don't I sound desperate. I always sound desperate. So I hope to see you guys in the next video, and I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. Gobble till you wobble. Bye-bye for now.